Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am Money Mike, and this is the Money in the Bank predictions. And Money in the Bank is this Saturday. I am recording this before SmackDown on Friday, so whether they add this mystery opponent, mystery man, to the Money in the Bank, to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match tonight, I won't know who that will be, or maybe it will be a surprise at the pay-per-view. But point being is, I got the match card here on my phone, and I want to run through my predictions here. And my thoughts on each match. So we're going to start with the Bloodline, with the Usos defending their unified tag titles against the Street Profits, who are up and want the smoke and the tag team championships. If there is going to be a time for WWE to start showing cracks within the Bloodline, at this point we have not seen any cracks in the Bloodline over these past 2 years, now would be the time to do it and surprise us with a Street Profits victory at Money in the Bank. Because at this point, who is left for the Usos after the Street Profits? There's nobody left. If the Street Profits lose, who do the Usos face? Because they've essentially, of all the credible teams, they've beaten every single one of them. So, again, the story aspect is there if they lose, because you have Roman coming back to set up his feud with Brock, and now he's mad at his cousins for losing the tag titles, and now it plays into his match with something, or it plays into the build where we can actually kind of start seeing cracks within the, shield, pun intended, of the Bloodline, where we can actually see that, the Usos lost their titles, so maybe Roman is going to lose his titles. And now that can add more to Roman's character, because now he's like, the Usos lost their titles. Maybe I should be worried. You can build more into the story with the Usos losing the titles, Roman Reigns potentially kicking them out of the family, whatever. And you could parlay that into the feud with The Rock, where The Rock comes back and says, hey, don't turn your back on family, blah, blah, blah. That sets up WrestleMania. Point being is there's way more to the Usos losing the titles than there is the Usos winning. So I think the Usos, from a prediction standpoint, are going to win. But if WWE wants to surprise us, let the Street Profits win, please. U.S. title match. Theory, Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley will win this probably by disqualification. After Raw this past Monday, it's quite clear they're setting something up with Theory and John Cena, most likely for SummerSlam. So Theory versus John Cena for the U.S. title is what I'm thinking for SummerSlam. So Lashley here will probably get the win by disqualification, but I would hope that after this, that maybe Lashley either gets added to the match between Roman and Brock, or maybe after SummerSlam, after Clash of the Castle with Drew, that Lashley can have a proper feud with Roman Reigns. The Raw Women's Championship, Bianca versus Carmella. It was supposed to have been Bianca versus Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley said that she's dealing with a brain injury, which I would have to assume would be a concussion. Wrestling has been hit hard with injuries this year. Bianca is going to retain the title. I think we could see a tease with a cash in, but I don't think we'll see a cash in happen at all on Saturday night. But Bianca is going to win and retain her championship. SmackDown Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey will retain her championship against Natalya. And again, like I said, there will not be a tease for a cash in here, but I wouldn't be surprised maybe, just because, well, I'll get into this in a minute. So the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Raquel Gonzalez, Lacey Evans, Asuka, and Shotzi. So this is quite clear, setting up to be Becky Lynch. Straight up, this is going to be her match. It's winning Money in the Bank is one of the few things, I think maybe the only thing at this point, that Becky Lynch hasn't done, and so she's going to get this accomplishment done, cross it off her list. When I look at the other women in the match, Shotzi is like the only one that I see as a real dark horse. And if they really want to build someone up for like a cash in much later on, then I think a cash in will happen. Then I think Shotzi would be a perfect pick to win this match and to build long term. We've seen her kind of have a little feud with Ronda Rousey, so you could tease the cash in with Shotzi and Ronda Rousey there. I really hate that Shayna Baszler is not involved in this Money in the Bank match, because I think WWE, from a TV standpoint, has done a great job keeping Shayna and Ronda apart. And I think having their first interaction be Shayna winning Money in the Bank and cashing in on Ronda would have been great storytelling. But she is not in this match. So this match is made specifically for Becky Lynch to win. Shotzi is a real dark horse here. The men's Money in the Bank, you have Seth frickin' Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Riddle, Omos, Sheamus, the honorary youth Sami Zayn, and an unknown opponent to be named later. So with me recording this before SmackDown, I don't know who they're going to add to it, who's going to be in that spot. Maybe we'll find out on SmackDown. Maybe it'll be a big surprise debut return on Saturday night. Maybe, perhaps. But if I look at this card here, and I look at this match, obviously right now, the thing is, at least with Becky Lynch, at least her winning the cash-in, at least you could tease, okay, we know her and Ronda have a feud. We know, and everybody wants to see Becky and Ronda, so we know they can go that route. But there's also that backstory with Bianca and SummerSlam, and the whole thing that happened a year ago at SummerSlam in Las Vegas, which I was there for. And I can tell you, I still remember this, because when Becky Lynch came out and she made her surprise return, we were happy. I mean, the crowd in Vegas last year, SummerSlam, we were happy to see Becky Lynch. And we thought that we were going to get this amazing, great 15-minute, 20-minute match between Becky and Bianca last year. Then we got this 26-second match, and it was like, wait, what just happened? We were happy for Becky, but we didn't want Bianca to lose, and it was, at least there's a story where she can go either way. Roman Reigns has both titles. So realistically, I mean, it's either Seth or Drew. I mean, you could do a backstory with Sami Zayn with maybe a Kofi Kingston type of moment where Sami Zayn kind of gets like this run like Kofi did, and eventually turns babyface and maybe takes one of the titles off of Roman Reigns. I think you could do something like that and give Sammy kind of a Kofi Kingston type of push from 2019. But if you're going with, but I don't see that happening either. So it's either Seth or Drew McIntyre that is going to win this Money in the Bank ladder match. And I think it's going to be Seth, because you could go the route of Drew McIntyre winning and then him just showing up on SmackDown saying, "Hey, I'm cashing in on the winner of Drew and Brock at SummerSlam at Clash of the Castle." That's boring. At least with Seth Rollins, you at least have a um, surprise little cash in you could set up. I mean, you could do it with Drew McIntyre too, but Seth, to me, I mean, you play off the history and maybe have Seth Rollins uh, actually lose the cash in because Roman and Brock would be ready this time for the cash in. So, but I do think they're going to try to replay off of WrestleMania 31. I think it's going to be Seth Rollins, Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank is going to be the real life couple of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. And that alone, you could do a lot of stuff there with Seth and Becky doing promos together, talking about how they're going to cash in and become guild champions again. And so, once again, that is my Money in the Bank predictions. Comment below, what do you think about the potential Money in the Bank winners? Who do you want to see win those briefcases on Saturday night? Do you think the Usos lose titles? Leave a comment below. And I've been your host, Money Mike, and I will be at SummerSlam, so I will be there to witness once again this year. So Roman Brock for the 8th time. So yay me. So I'm interested in seeing what happens at Money in the Bank will set up for SummerSlam, in which hopefully for me and my friends that are going, we will get a very entertaining card at SummerSlam. I've been your host, Money Mike. Enjoy Money in the Bank on Saturday night, and I will be back on Sunday with a review of Money in the Bank 2022 and who won the cash-in, who won the briefcases, and if there were any new champions crowned via the cash-ins.